The Enigma of Fulcanelli, a deep dive into the mysterious alchemist. In the dim glow of candlelit libraries, in the stones of Gothic cathedrals, and behind veils of secrecy, there lies the legend of Fulcanelli, a name that conjures mystique, alchemy, and unanswered questions. This is not merely a biography. It is a journey through symbols, whispers, carbon and gold, and a man who challenged the boundary between myth and reality. Chapter 1. The name, the myth, the mystery. From the outset, Fulcanelli was never meant to be fully known. His pen name, fusing Vulcan, the Roman god of fire, with El, a Canaanite name of deity, suggests sacred fire, or the hidden flame within matter. The pseudonym is a veil, and already the first clue to the riddle. We see that what matters is not the face, but the secret behind the name. Even the most basic facts of his life, place of birth, dates of youth, education, remain murky. Some accounts propose that he was born in Picardy, close to Amiens, and that as a youth he first laid eyes on the cathedral there, an experience that stirred him for life. Others place him in a lineage of modest nobility, fallen in fortune but rich in esoteric heritage. Some suggest he moved to Paris early, studying classical literature, art, architecture, absorbing the symbols he would later decode in stone and scripture. Yet each version is speculative. Scholars must piece together fragments left in his writings, testimonies of disciples, and cryptic allusions in manuscripts long since silenced. Chapter 2. Fulcanelli's Inner Circle. Disciples and the Brotherhood. Around the early 20th century, a small group formed around the enigma we call Fulcanelli. In 1916, he accepted Eugène Cancellier, then just 16 years old, as his disciple. Cancellier would become the steward of Fulcanelli's manuscripts and the main chronicler of his teachings. Other disciples included Jean-Julien Hubert Champagne, who served as illustrator for Fulcanelli's works, and Gaston Sauvage. These men were more than pupils. They were guardians of the secret flame, entrusted with both symbols and silence. The inner group was sometimes dubbed the Frères d'Héliopolis, Brothers of Heliopolis. They met quietly among Parisian salons and in hidden lodges, limiting exposure so that the master would remain shrouded. Some even speculate that within this group, a collective authorship operated. Perhaps Champagne, Cancellier, and Pierre Dujols collaborated under the single authority of Fulcanelli. Chapter 3. The Great Works, Books and Symbolism, Le Mystère des Cathédrales, The Mystery of the Cathedrals. Written around 1922 and first published in 1926, this work examines Gothic cathedrals not merely as architecture, but as coded books written in stone. Fulcanelli argues that sculpted gargoyles, pillars, rose windows, engravings, every element of a cathedral's facade, carry alchemical symbolism. The book blends architecture, theology, occultism, and Hermetic philosophy. Its style is deliberately obscure. Latin and Greek wordplays, double meanings, allegorical references, cryptic glosses. The effect? Only the initiated, or those willing to dig deeply, can discern the meaning beneath the veneer. Its first edition was limited, around 300 copies, and circulated among occult circles rather than in mainstream bookstores. Les Demeures Philosophales, Dwellings of the Philosophers. Published in 1929 or 1930, this second work expands the symbolic study beyond cathedrals to secular constructions. Mansions, rural dwellings, architectural elements throughout France. Fulcanelli argues that even modest buildings contain philosophical dwellings, coded reflections of the great work. He asserts that the 14th to 16th centuries in Europe saw a high point of architectural daring imbued with spiritual symbolism. That the soaring filigree of Gothic and flamboyant art was not accidental, but intentional, a language in stone. Again, the language is dense, full of hidden layers, meant to repel casual readers, preserving mystery. A third work, Finis Gloriae Mundi, The End of Worldly Glory, was reportedly prepared but never published. Some claim Fulcanelli retracted it, others that it is a forgery. Chapter 4. Alleged demonstrations of the great work. The most sensational claims surrounding Fulcanelli relate to actual transmutations. According to his disciples, several dramatic experiments were performed. In 1922, Fulcanelli and Cancelliet allegedly transmuted 100 grams of lead into gold at a gasworks laboratory in Sarcelles, using a small amount of projection powder, the substance of the philosopher's stone, in front of witnesses including Champagne and Sauvage. In 1937, at Château de Lirey, they reportedly turned 225 grams of lead into gold and 100 grams of silver into uranium, a claim that blends ancient alchemy with atomic age ambition. After this last demonstration, accounts diverge. Many say Fulcanelli vanished amid a swirl of rumors and speculation. The transformation performed before witness added weight to legends of his mastery, but no independent scientific record exists. These tales elevate Fulcanelli from theorist to mythic practitioner. Even critics concede that these stories, whether literal or symbolic, reinforce the aura of power surrounding him. Chapter 5. Warnings, Nuclear Foreshadowing, and Alchemical Prophecies. Some later accounts purport that Fulcanelli warned of the destructive dimensions of atomic energy. In a meeting with Jacques Bergier in 1937, he allegedly cautioned, "You are at the brink of success. The liberation of nuclear power is easier than you think. A few grains of metal, if manipulated rightly, can poison the atmosphere of our planet." These prophetic echoes resonate with modern dilemmas. Can ancient wisdom foresee technological disaster? Such stories blur the line between symbolic alchemy and speculative science, but they only deepen Fulcanelli's mystique. Chapter 6. The Vanishing and the Return. By 1926, according to Cancelliet, Fulcanelli disappeared from Paris, leaving behind manuscripts and students, but no trace. Despite efforts, no definitive records of his death or later life surfaced. Yet, the story did not end. Some claimed he survived into the 1940s, possibly until the liberation of Paris in 1944. American Army intelligence even asked French agents in 1945, "Where is Fulcanelli?" Most stunning is Cancelliet's claim of a secret rendezvous in 1953 at a remote Spanish castle. In that meeting, the master appeared younger, even androgynous, a being he called the divine androgyne. After that encounter, Fulcanelli vanished again. If true, this suggests not death, but transcendence, that Fulcanelli had stepped beyond mortality. But as historians note, such tales rest entirely on witness accounts. No external corroboration exists. Chapter 7. Identity Theories and Debates. Over decades, many names have been floated as the real man behind Fulcanelli. Jules Violle, a French physicist, is a favored candidate. Patrick Rivière, a disciple of Cancelliet, argues Violle fits the timeline and literary style. Jean-Julien Champagne is another strong candidate, artist, illustrator, collaborator, and close to the publishing machinery of Fulcanelli's works. Some suggest Champagne was Fulcanelli, or part of a hidden collective under the name. Others propose that Fulcanelli never existed as a single person, but was a fictional persona, a masked authorial construct born of occult collaboration. Some even suggest Cancelliet himself ghost-wrote parts. Scholarly comparison of handwriting samples and stylistic analyses offers hints, but none decisive. The myth remains unresolved. Chapter 8. Cultural Legacy and Inspirations. Fulcanelli's legend extends far beyond the occult. In popular culture and esoteric circles alike, he is a touchstone. Frank Zappa titled a track, "But Who Was Fulcanelli?" evoking the mystery. Guillermo del Toro's Kronos, 1993, draws upon the theme of alchemical immortality, echoing the idea of hidden masters and transformation. Occult scholars still pore over every symbol in both of Fulcanelli's books, seeking keys to hidden laboratories or lost transmutation formulas. The 2020 publication La Clef du Cabinet Hermétique, The Key to the Hermetic Sanctum, ties newly surfaced manuscripts to the Gallatin family and links to Fulcanelli's tradition, fueling fresh speculation. This myth-making continues. The man fades, the legend grows. Chapter 9. Why Fulcanelli matters today. In an age of science, the story of Fulcanelli reminds us of a tension between the material and the metaphysical. His books ask us to see beneath surfaces. What if stones, statues, and structures encode wisdom we've forgotten? What if human transformation is the truest alchemy? For a YouTube audience, the allure lies in the unsolved. The man who disappeared twice, who may or may not have turned lead to gold, who may exist still in rumor. His life is a mirror of the theme: secrets, symbols, silence. Conclusion: the last word or the last question. Fulcanelli leaves us with no simple answers. He gave us texts dense with layers, disciples who tried to carry on, and clues without conclusiveness. If he sought to teach transformation, not of metals, but of the soul, perhaps his disappearance was part of the lesson. So we end where we began. In a cathedral dusk, shadows lengthening over carved stone, with one final question lingering in the air. Who was Fulcanelli?